Yeah, that was awesome. Hey guys, welcome to week 80. We take a wild stab at it, 83. Here on the Real DVD Watchers on Wednesdays, as always. So the movie that I've chosen to review today is something that shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone because I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it. And everyone really, really likes it. And I like it too. So yeah. Without further ado, the movie I've chosen to review is The Hangover. Pretty much going on this one, it's basically about this group of four guys go out on this one guy's bachelor party. They go out to Vegas, and pretty much they take roofies by mistake, and they cannot remember what happened during the night. And their friend Doug is missing, so they're trying to piece together what happened the night before and trying to find their friend Doug. This really has an all-star cast with, of course, first and foremost, Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, Zach Galifianakis, Jeffrey Tambor is in this. A whole bunch of other people that you would recognize if you saw them. Just I'm too lazy to look up their names. So yeah, that's pretty much how that one's gonna go down. Sorry, my roommate's playing a game, so he's all screaming and yelling like a little bitch. So basically, this movie is kind of like a brainchild of John Lucas and Scott Moore. They are the masterminds behind Old School, and again, this is also directed by Todd Phillips, who also directed Old School. But the thing for me, this movie has a much more sophisticated tone than Old School did. Old School was very much relying on Will Ferrell and being like kind of like absurdist humor, whereas this, was just more typically funny, and the comedy appealed to more people, at least that I thought, because when you compare the two movies, Old School just feels rather lackluster and just doesn't hold up as something like The Hangover does, because I mean, there's only so much you could do with something like Old School, but when you go for something like The Hangover where you just have them completely black out for the night, it just makes for an absolute laugh riot of them trying to piece together what happened. I want to talk about the acting. It is superb in this movie. Standout alone, clearly, is Zach Galifianakis. I can never fully pronounce his name as Alan. He just does such a great job. And Zach Galifianakis really wasn't in a lot before this. Like now, clearly everyone's seen how really funny he is, and his stand-up is just superb. But people are just starting now to realize that hey, he's actually a credible actor. He actually knows what he's doing. But nonetheless, though, he does an amazing job in taking such an odd character of Alan and making him truly funny and truly unique. But most of all, almost childlike in a way with his innocence. It's great. Because I'm not sure if you noticed this though, but throughout the whole entire movie, Alan does not swear once. And it's just really, really cool to actually see something like that happen, especially in a movie that deals with a lot of issues that this does. I mean, really, he just steals the show. And the thing about Alan's character is Alan walks a line, as a creation. I mean, you could play him extremely creepy, or you could play him, sort of like an offbeat, the way how Zach Galifianakis did. And I'm really glad he chose to take it that way instead of, like, I'm just creepy for the sake of being creepy, because Alan isn't. Alan is very humble, and Alan is out there, but just he thinks he's normal, so that makes him even better. Ed Helms does a great job as Stu. Ed Helms, of course, Andy Bernard from The Office. He does a great job in playing such the whipped pussy role, and just to watch him freak out at times is great, especially when he finds out that he married an escort played by Heather Graham, who oddly enough is actually really good in this, because normally I don't like Heather Graham at all, but she's just awesome. Bradley Cooper, again, top notch. Really, you can't really talk about the guy who played Doug, who it's probably Justin Bartha. I'm probably wrong, but I don't know. But just because he's not in it a lot, so really, it's like hell. Jeffrey Tambor has a bigger role than he does in this whole entire movie. But nonetheless, though, just an absolute great cast ensemble piece, because like really with something like this, you have to rely on your fellow actors in order to carry you through some scenes, and also to feed off their energy, because this is what a comedy essentially is. When you do an ensemble comedy, you want to feed off the energy of other people, and you also want people who are committed to the scene, and people who are willing to give 110%, because if they don't, you're not going to get the results, and it's going to be a bland, boring comedy. But luckily for us, that didn't happen at all. Otherwise, though, editing, direction-wise, there's not really much to say. Like there's great landscaping shots in this movie. Like the DP obviously cared about certain scenes, but for the most part, though, you know what? It's just like your standard cut and paste job with any normal comedy. There's nothing too special, except for the landmarking scenes and big landscape scenes. Those ones are the ones you really have to watch because the DP totally knew what he was doing, and it's just really great. The writing is top notch, of course, too. Like I remember seeing things in theaters last summer and just busting a gut at how funny it was, because it's a great comedy, and you know they're really rare and far between today. Yes, we are forced to see things that we are forced to believe are great comedies, but really they're not, because they're too convoluted and too self-centered, and you know, and you're getting too many people together who just are too self-centered as actors. If you understand what I'm going for. So yeah. If I had to give this movie a rating out of 10, it would definitely get an 8. It's a great comedy. There's still stuff to build on, but you know it's absolutely great, and I love it. I honestly love it. Post note though, it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna see the Hangover, how they're gonna do the Hangover 2, because I was talking about it with a whole bunch of friends. I don't really know how they're gonna go about doing it, because really when you get right down to it, they kind of covered everything, you know. So I noticed I'm making this face a lot. But I mean, it's just because everything they did kind of covered it. I mean, for me, there's not really a need to do another movie. But granted, I'll still go watch it, and I'll probably bust a gut laughing at this one too. But just, I don't really see a need for it. So yeah. So anyways, that's the review. Thanks to everyone who watches and subscribes as always. You guys rock, and I will catch you guys in a week's time. Bye.